All right. At the end of the day, the Sleepers podcast is a college sports podcast, college basketball podcast, college football podcast. Now, whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, Cart, we are a drama podcast and we are a petty podcast. And some petty drama has emerged in Michigan football's world this week. JJ McCarthy, starting quarterback, Cade McNamara, Iowa starting quarterback. Everybody knows the history there. Cade was the incumbent starting quarterback when JJ showed up. Cade had sort of kind of beaten out that big group of like, are they the next Michigan court? Like Dylan McCaffrey was in there and he looked good for a while. Joe Milton was there. And then all of a sudden Cade showed up and said, what if we win out after storming back to beat Rutgers? And somehow magically started beating Ohio State. I still don't really know how that happened, but Cade was good as Michigan's quarterback. He wasn't JJ. JJ took the job from him in a situation where they both were playing significant time. They played a 2-quarterback system. JJ won the job. Cade lost the job. Cade transferred, went to Iowa. Well, now there are Michigan sites reporting that behind the scenes during that dynamic, JJ had reached out to Cade asking for mentorship, basically blah, blah, blah. Like, hey, I want to learn from you. Excited to be here. Cade ghosted him. Cade gave him the cold shoulder, was not willing to, whatever you want to call it, be a leader, show him the ropes, help him along. Do you buy this? This feels bullshitty to me. Do you buy that this actually happened?
There's so many angles that this feels bullshitty, but the one that feels most bullshitty is JJ reaching out to Cade and being like, hey, mentor me, mold me. You're one of the greats. You're one of the stop it, bro. You were showing up on campus to take that man's job. Be cordial with him, but you're not reaching out to him to be like, I want you to mold me. I want to know what you know. I want to know what it means to wear that helmet. You're Cade. I'm JJ. Love me, mentor me. He's like, come on, bro. I'm not mad at Cade for ghosting him, for one, if it actually did happen. Like, come on, bro. Get real. Let's be honest. And the fact that this story is coming out right now is also extremely hilarious to me. Like, it's way in the past. Cade's already moved on, playing with Iowa, throwing touchdowns to his same tight end. And, JJ's not covering against East Carolina and yelling free his quarterback or free his coach. So
he just wants his coach. He just wants his coach back.
This really adds to the JJ isn't cool. JJ is corny.
I'd like to flesh this out a little bit, but he just wants his coach back, man. That's all he wants.
He didn't die. He's not in a hospital. He's fine.
I want to flesh out the JJ cool thing. I think that's a separate conversation to this. Obviously you don't like JJ. Obviously Michigan State fans in general are very anti.
Wait, but let me say this though. I might not like JJ, but I can say I think JJ is good.
Okay, I appreciate that.
JJ is good, but the antics are extremely corny. I'm sorry, and I feel like I would say the same thing if it was Michigan State's quarterback. I truly believe that.
So I do want to flesh that out because I agree JJ has been caught up in quite a few corny moments. With that said, I don't know how much are let me take a different athlete I think is objectively corny. Jaden Ivey. A lot of Jaden Ivey's corny moments are like Jaden Ivey tweeting or Jaden Ivey going to the media to do something lame. JJ to me doesn't feel like he positions himself as much. He might be doing lame things, but it doesn't seem as much of the attention seeking him proactive doing it. And the one that was the most obviously was him standing there watching the TCU celebration. That was a little staged, but I've seen people try taking a picture of him doing the whole meditation thing before games.
I will say that's the one thing I feel like they can't throw in there. That's something a lot of players do. That's not making it about yourself. That's actually something that people do. It's the other things besides that. I just want to throw that out there.
But it would what would be lame would be if JJ was taking a picture of him meditating and Instagramming it with a caption every week. He's not doing that. He's just meditating. So the fact that all these images come out of him, I think, are part of this, and it's going to happen when you're the quarterback at Michigan. And by the way, you're a damn good quarterback at Michigan. And by the way, you're a handsome looking white dude. Like you're gonna be poster boy of all this shit, and you're gonna have pictures of everything you do. And JJ just so happens to be a guy who does a lot of quirky shit. Like he has a smiley face on his hand. Okay, like that's Caleb Williamsy. And is one of them cool and one of them lame? I don't know. It's up to you. So, but back to the original thing though. This is like such a Michigan media moment for me. And I play both sides and I'm unique in this rivalry that I'm in between all of this. But one of my biggest pet peeves in general is how Michigan sites cover Michigan and Michigan State sites cover Michigan State. There's just no objectivity to it. And I feel like shit is made up to always paint things in the most positive light. And it's not real. Like none of it's real. It's all bullshit. And obviously there's an audience for it. But like, I guarantee if this flipped, like if Cade was still the Michigan quarterback and JJ transferred to some Pac-12 school because he couldn't beat out Cade, this exact story would come out, but flip the names. Like identical. There's no way to prove that any of this happened. All it does is further fuel Michigan's fan base to hate Cade McNamara and prop up JJ. And that's fine, but it's just like, if this really happened, why didn't we hear about it a year ago? Why are we hearing about it now? Just because someone wanted to show up on a podcast and make a headline? Like, I look at it all with such an eye roll, you know?
Yeah, it's just, it's meaningless to me. And it's just like you said, both parties have moved on and are honestly, I think, are in good situations for themselves personally. JJ is quarterback of Michigan. Cade's getting an opportunity to do things at Iowa. Like it is what it is. I just think it's that adds to and also for anyone who's listening to this, I don't want to carry like the most negative connotation of corny necessarily, because I feel like people think corny's like I think Steph Curry does stuff that's corny sometimes. Doesn't mean he's not good or great, but like some of the stuff that Steph does, it's just like you say it all the time, Greg. We actually think it's cool if it wasn't Steph Curry, like him doing like the shimmy sometimes. Like that is, if anyone did that, we would be like, oh, that's corny kind of. So I don't want it to carry with this absolutely negative connotation, but I will say a lot of the stuff he does rubs me the wrong way because I think it's just it's weird. It's lame to me. It's lame.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with thinking that. I will say, like, I genuinely, in my heart, I am like a fan of JJ McCarthy. I do think some of the things he does are a little cringy, but in general, like, as someone who's watched Michigan football my entire life and watched a lot with my dad growing up, who's a diehard Michigan football fan, JJ is by far the coolest quarterback they've ever had in my eyes. And like, you can say whatever you want about that. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
Is he?
To me, yeah, but they haven't had a lot of cool quarterbacks. Like, other than Denard. Denard was.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like everyone loved Denard.
I just completely had a mental gap about Denard. Denard's the coolest quarterback ever. JJ would be too. But like, who are we comparing him to? Like Chad Henne, Jake Rudock. Like, it's not like Michigan is a notorious cool quarterback spot.
Spate.
Yeah, like I'm just used. My whole life has been lame Michigan quarterbacks. So, now we have a guy who can throw on the run, who puts smiley faces in Sharpie. Give me that guy. I like that guy. And also, like, I don't know. I feel like when comparing JJ to Cade too, JJ gets a lot of the lame stuff just because he's the guy who won the job. Cade doing the whole "what if we went out" thing is lamer than anything JJ's ever done.
Yeah.
Like, Cade had no sense of, it was Rutgers who you just beat. And that little viral moment is lamer than everything JJ's ever done put together. So, minus maybe wearing the free gym shirts.
That's crazy to me, man.
I don't know.
I'm so sorry. It's just wild.
Yeah. I mean, I tweeted out there's no I in team because he said we fence. There's no I in team, but there is an I in self-imposed.
Let this be known. Say what you want. That we fence was a bar.
Oh, that's crazy. That's the thing you defend of Jim.
If I could have whipped that out, pause at a press conference or something, that's elite.
You're a big me fence guy, though.
Yeah, ain't no offense, ain't no defense. It's an I fence, and I need touches.
Oh, crazy times. All right, let's get to one.